everybody. I'm Lori from Women's Health on the Go, where we provide telemedicine for women. So make sure that you go on over to our website on womenshealthonthego.com. You can sign up for you get a free ebook. It just talks about how to avoid the gynecologist, lots of great women's health tips, and make sure that you go over and then you can learn a little bit more about telemedicine. It's the wave of the future, and it's a really good thing. So make sure you check it out. And tonight we're going to be talking about flower essences. Now, and what the heck are they? So May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and mental health is huge. It's huge. I'm going to talk about some statistics when it comes to mental health. It is it's very prevalent, and it's everywhere, and it affects so many of us. The statistics are 1 in 5 adults in the U.S. will have some kind of mental illness that's going on, okay? 1 in 25 will have a severe mental illness. And half of those people who have chronic mental illnesses, most of them, they start at the age of 14 years old. So that's really, that's a long lifetime to be going from 14 all the way through your life with that. About 6.9%, which is about 16 million people, I'm sorry, let me take that back, people have major depression in the United States. 18.1%, which is about 42 million, have an anxiety disorder. And depression is the leading cause of disability worldwide. That is, to me, that's amazing. It's affecting a lot of people, and I definitely think that this is something that we really need to talk about, okay? And, 60% of people who have mental health issues didn't even see a medical provider this past year. And that's a huge amount of people. People are out there, they're struggling, and what is causing the depression? There's just so many things that can be causing it, and maybe people weren't able to access healthcare because they don't have health insurance or they don't have access, and that's why. And these people are suffering, and it's really sad. And when I looked at the research about depression, the reason why I want to talk about flower essences is because, as we know, I may say some things that are kind of, maybe a little bit kind of sensitive for people right now, but everything that I'm saying is based on research findings, okay? Because there's a lot of people that go to their provider and talk about, that I'm sad, and they give you a prescription and send you on your merry way. There's a couple of different researches that I want to kind of talk about. One in 2009, this was actually a literature review, and basically a literature review is just talking about someone going through all articles and kind of reviewing the data and then coming to a kind of conclusion. In 2009, the University of California did a literature review, and it said that 1/3 of depressed individuals that are taking antidepressant medications don't feel better at all, okay? And many of the remaining people, right, they felt somewhat better, but they did not, that their depression still remained, okay? And then in a U.S. study, now this I think is very, very interesting, because there is recently research, okay, I'm going to bounce a little bit here, because you know how I am, sometimes I bounce. Okay, there was just research recently found that says that depression is based on bad experiences, and it's not based on genetics or chemical imbalance, that it has basically completely to do with bad experiences. And it's actually the article that I read was kind of pretty harsh, because then it's like that whole group of people are saying, well, they want like the research to be stopped on the imbalances and stuff like that, because there's no connection. It's based on your bad experiences. And then there was another research that I think this kind of I'm not quite sure if it ties into it or not, or how you may interpret this. But in a study in the US found that 65% of untreated people that were depressed had complete recovery within 3 months from not taking anything at all. Where those who took medication took nearly twice as long to recover. Okay, so I mean that's something to. Why is that happening? What is the dynamic, that has caused that? And the World Health Organization did a study, and it showed those not exposed to antidepressant medications did significantly better as compared to those that were put on medication. So I know that, and I know this could be a kind of touchy kind of conversation. I know that, a lot of us go through a lot of things. We struggle. I'm about to share you I'm going to share with you something that happened to me I'd say about, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. And I know that we all go through things. This is what life is. Life is unfortunately lots of ups and downs. And I know that it can be hard. I definitely know that it can be hard. I would say about 6 years ago or so, I hit rock bottom. I was completely depressed, and I didn't want to get out of bed. Even the people that I worked with, they knew, like, they were worried about me. I was just rock bottom. And I know that when I say that, I don't have to go into why or any of that kind of stuff, but, you can understand what I'm saying. And I talked to a provider, and I got a antidepressant medication, and I got the medication, and I took my first pill, and I don't know what happened. My body did not like it. Let's just put it that way. I was freaking out. I wanted to go to bed, but I wanted to be up. I didn't know what to do with myself. I actually called up my doctor friend, and I said, I think that I'm having a serotonin crisis. I was having this complete body experience that I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. I cannot be on this medication right now, but I need something. What am I going to do? I can't, I'm rock bottom right now. I can't help what I'm doing. Like, I need something. And I knew a provider that dealt with flower essence. And so I actually called her up. And the reason why I believe in flower essences and why I want to talk to people about it is I cannot even begin to tell you. I still to this day, when I explain to people what flower essences is, I say, I don't know how the heck this thing worked, but it worked. It completely changed my world. So I called her up, and she, I actually worked with her, and she kind of knew what was going on in my life. And, she had talked to me a little bit more, you're going to have to open up to me because of the way that flower essence works. And I talked to her for about, 5 minutes, and she goes, all right. And I had a health food store in town, and she told us, go get this, this, and this. And she told me how to take it, and it worked. It completely worked. Now, was I still sad about what was going on in my life? Yes, I was. I was still sad. There's no doubt about that. But what the flower essence allowed me to do was to actually go, okay, I can handle this now. I can go through this easy breezy and completely fine. And that's exactly what happened, because I personally just couldn't take the medication. I was having too much of a reaction to it, and bless everybody that can take the medication, but my body had severe reaction to it. And the flower essences, I still use them to this day. If I'm going through something, or if I'm not, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that, I'm going to show you, I have I got the complete set. I went and I spent the money to get the complete set. And I've made them I've actually made a dog calming spray. I have a friend that has she has like a dog sitting service. And I made her this dog calming spray, and it just to put around, like, when they go to bed, and she's like, I don't know what the heck's in that bottle, but it works. So it really, it made a huge, huge impact on my life. And you know what I'm realizing right now? That down here it says close Facebook group invite, which I'm going to just interrupt really quick. I'm going to have to tell everybody about this. I forgot to mention that in the beginning. I have a closed Facebook group that I'm trying to start to answer women's questions. So I will give that link in the bottom, but I just want to, mention that because I just noticed, oh my goodness, I forgot about that. So flower essence, what the heck are they? So back in I'd say the late 20s, because Dr. Edward Bach, I think in England they pronounce his last name a little bit differently, but that's how I pronounce it. He was a physician, he was a researcher, he was homeopathy, he was a kind of natural kind of doctor, and he believed that the attitude of the mind is vital for maintaining health and recovering from illness. So he basically did lots of research, and he came up with 38 negative states of mind. That's what it is. 38 basic negative states of mind. Okay, and at one point, he actually moved out to the country. He was in London, and he moved out to the country. And for the majority of the rest of his life, he researched, like, okay, how can I take these negative states of mind and create them to be the positive state of mind? And he basically came up with flower essences. Now, what exactly is flower essence? Flower essence is this is the only way that I can kind of describe it, okay? We'll take a flower, any flower. We can take dandelion, okay, just because they're in my yard right now, and I'm thinking about dandelion. You're taking the dandelion, you're taking the flower, and you're putting it in a crystal bowl. I'm going to show you a picture in a second. You're going to be putting it in a crystal bowl, and then you're going to be putting spring water. He actually, Dr. Bach actually used spring water from actual live springs on the property of where he was. And then you're going to take these flowers, and you're just going to place them on top of the water. And I'm going to find a picture. I found a picture here before. Yeah, here we go. Okay. All right, I'm going to show you a picture right now. All right, so you can kind of see that this is a crystal bowl, there's spring water, there's flowers on the top of it, and what that basically is done is that is left in the sun, so that the sun infuses the soul of the flower into the spring water. Okay, that's the easiest way to me, it's like the soul, right? And apparently the way that when he did his research, he found that different flowers could help with different emotions. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit over to all the little different flowers and stuff like that. I mean, even sometimes they're there's a bush, there's a plant, there's a tree, but he found that certain flowers would help with that negative state of energy and making it into a positive state of energy. So basically, the energy is infused to that water, and then you basically, when you're done with that, you take the flowers off, and you do everything is in it's preserved in brandy. That's what he does. Now, there's lots of people who make, there's other companies now that do make flower essence and stuff like that. Bach is the original, and the way that he did it is it's like 50% of that tincture and 50% brandy to preserve the actual flower essence. And I'm just going to show you, this is, actually I'm going to show you a better picture, but this is just one of them. Now this is actually a Bach one. But then I also have, like a whole set. I have a whole set. I got lots of them. There's another whole box too. That's from a different company. They're based in England, and they say that they, you know, I looked at lots of research, but they follow the method of making the flower essence the same way that Dr. Bach did. Now there is one other method that they do make it, and that's with boiling. And apparently, I'm not really familiar. I just know a lot more because if you see anybody when they talk about flower essence, it's about the flowers and infusing the soul into the water with the flowers. But there is apparently, Bach had a few of them where he actually did with boiling, which apparently was like bushes and plants and trees that he did that with. So that is basically flower essences and of how they kind of make them, okay? Now with Bach, there are 38. They have, I'm going to show you another picture here real quick. Hold on. I wanted to show you another picture that I found. Hold your knickers, everybody. Okay. And this is just another picture that I found of the Bach flower remedies, just so you can see what they look like if you ever went to the kind of store. And then here, I'm going to show you a picture of, that's Dr. Bach. And then I wonder if there's a picture of his, that's not a very good picture. Oh wait, here, this one. This one's apparently his little, I know that looks like a really tiny picture there, but that is, that's his little home apparently. So I've read. So, oh here, let me just show you two. I don't know if this one, hold on one second. No, yeah, that's basically, yeah. I was going to show you another one, but it's just that they're all the same ones, but just different pictures. So I just want to introduce those flower essences with people, okay? Now, let me see. Now, basically the way that the emotions that he has, there's 38 of them. They deal with different emotions, and they're kind of broken down into categories that he has, okay? Like there's fear, right? So there's and then fear gets kind of broken down just so you can kind of understand, like fear is the extreme fear of like everything, to the fear of other people, or the fear of the unknown. Like, you know, I'm afraid of things, but I'm not quite sure what it is that I'm afraid of. Then there's the category of uncertainty, like, you know, or also a negative attitude. Then there's lack of interest. Like no interest at all in life. There's either or no energy to do anything. So they're all kind of broken down. Then there's loneliness, which, you know, for those people who enjoy loneliness, or the people who don't like to, you know, they don't like being alone, and they're very, very chatty and very, they talk a lot. That is Heather, which I actually use Heather with my cat. I have a cat that she's a stray cat actually that used to live in the neighborhood, and she's now part of our home. And she's very, very chatty, and especially like if we go away for a night, we come back. So I usually put a little bit of Heather in her water, or I also put some on a spray bottle and I spray it where she's gonna sit. You know, and hopefully I've noticed that she's not as chatty when we get back as compared to when I wasn't using it. So you can use it with your animals as well. And then there's another category of oversensitivity. You're oversensitive. You're like unfortunately, sometimes, people treat someone like a doormat, like they just use them and stuff like that, or sensitive to for other people's feelings. There's so many different, or then there's also like big changes in life. So there's all these different categories, and within each category it breaks it down even more. And I'm actually going to, in the link and stuff like that, put a link for people to actually, you can go and you can read all of them. And basically, when you're trying to figure out what is good for you, there are flower essence practitioners out there that can help you. And then also, you can just go online and just sit down with yourself and kind of figure out, okay, how am I feeling? What is this feeling? What is that feeling? And kind of writing it down, taking even like kind of words of how you feel, and then reading all of the different meanings to all of the flower essences and kind of picking what ones are good for you. You can mix multiple of them into I'm going to talk about a little like a treatment dose bottle, I guess we'll talk about. But they say not to do too many either, because you gotta just like kind of take a couple of them, like 3 or 4 of them, and kind of deal with that, and then go. You don't, when it comes to flower essences, for me, and I think for everyone, is that you're going through a certain amount of time, so you go through that, and then all of a sudden everything's okay with all that stuff, but maybe there's other issues or whatever, so then you have to kind of change things, if that makes sense. So I want to say hello to a couple of people. Hello, Fiona. Welcome. Hello, Donna. Hello, Dave. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope that you're enjoying this information. This is something that, it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and I really think that just giving people an alternative way to actually address if you're depressed, if you have anxiety, if you have anything going on, I definitely think that this is just a great way, just a great another thing. And the thing, you know what the great thing about flower essence is? It doesn't interact with any medications, any drugs, nothing. It doesn't interact with anything, because you're just doing a couple of drops, and it's just basically spring water, and it's diluted in brandy, but the amount of brandy in there is very, very minimal. If there are, I know that there are some people that want, either because you can do this with children, or maybe you're recovering, alcoholic or something like that, and you just do not want to have any alcohol in your body at all, which I totally understand that. There are other ways, like sometimes people make it and preserve it with like raw apple cider vinegar, and then they do sell tincture bottles, it's not tincture, flower essence bottles. They use like a glycerin instead of the alcohol, so that definitely can happen. So, when you're trying to find what you would need, you can either, one, like I said, there's flower essence practitioners out there, which I was going to try to find one as a guest, but they're not easy to find. So maybe one day I will definitely have one on. You can go, I'll put a link of the website that it's, based on from Bach, Center, and it goes into detail of all of the different flower essences, what they mean, and which ones it'll address. Or you know what, you can always email me or make an appointment with me. I would be more than happy to help you choose flower essences. I'm not a flower essence practitioner, but I've been reading a lot about it. I use them all the time. I have friends, I have family that, I'll make tincture, like, flower essence remedies for them, and I get good reviews. I mean, people say, oh my gosh, it really does help. So, and just, as I was telling you before, my personal experience with them was absolutely amazing. It changed my life at that point. I was really, really, all I can say was I was rock bottom. I really, really can tell you that. And they really, really made a huge difference. And then not only with the emotions as well, But there's a book, and there are people out there that actually use this for certain ailments as well. You know, there's people that will, instead of putting it underneath your tongue, like if you have problems with your wrist, they'll actually put a drop of it on the wrist to, like, because it's addressing certain areas on our body. There's that theory that certain areas, I'm gonna pop this book up. This is another great book, Louise Hay, Heal Your Body. She just talks about how in certain areas of your body, if we're having medical problems, we can have certain mental issues that are going on. So I love all this kind of stuff. I'm a women's health nurse practitioner, but I'm very into the conventional stuff, but I'm also very much on finding out about all the other stuff that is out there. I believe the more knowledge we have, the better we're going to be off. And I know that there are so many different modalities out there that can help us in so many different ways. And we all have to find what would be best for us. But anyway, so certain parts of our body mean certain things. We may be having, what goes on in our brain is going to be whatever issue we're having in our brain will be expressed through a certain body part in our bodies. Like, I know back pain, lower back pain has to do with like money, insecurity and stuff like that. So I don't know why I happen to know that, but I happen to know that one. But these are kind of great things. So let's get back to Bach flower, because I know I can get off on little tangents, everybody, and I'm so sorry for that. But okay, so when you find out what you want to use when it comes to the Bach flowers, there's a couple of ways that you can actually take them in. Now, there is one that's called the Rescue Remedy, right? This is, I'm always wondering how I'm doing this. Okay, Rescue Remedy, which is a couple of the different flower essences put into one. And this is supposed to be like, oh crap, I'm having a really, really bad day and I need something like right away. And it's got the basic kind of emergency kind of situation that will help. Anything traumatic that happens like very quickly. Like, I'm just going to say something like, I lost my job today, oh my gosh, I'm having a really, really bad day. And if you have this, you can actually literally, sometimes I have a hard time opening them. There we go. They're just little kind of droppers, right? And you can actually, like with the Rescue Remedy, you can just put like 1 or 2 drop underneath your tongue. You can get yourself, this is always I have my glass of water all the time, and you can literally just take a couple of drops and put them right into the water and sip your water throughout the day. You can make like a little tincture, like I keep saying tincture, but it's really not a tincture. I guess I'm always got the herbal medicine on my mind. This is a treatment bottle, right? So it's just a basic, it looks like a tincture bottle. It's got like a dropper, okay? And basically it's got spring water in there, spring water. And let's just suppose, I don't know, I'm just going to grab a couple, right? Let's just suppose we are going to do, I got wild rose and I've got white chestnut here, and I need these two to help me with what's going on in my life right now. So I get myself one of these kind of bottles. I take about 2 drops each of these and I put it into here with some spring water and just a little bit, like, in this kind of small bottle, I would put like even a teaspoon of raw apple cider vinegar or of brandy or of vodka. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of, you just need something to make sure you preserve it as much as, and this is where I say to you, I don't know how this stuff really works, right? I mean, you put some flowers in a bowl and you let the sun infuse the essence to me, the essence where I call the soul of the flower into the spring water, and somehow this spring water makes me feel better. It's, I mean, to me, like when I talk to people, I'm like, listen, all I can tell you is my personal experience, and that's why I talk about it and I tell people about it, because I had an amazing personal experience. It helped me through a very difficult time in my life, and it didn't take the problem, quote, away personally, but it helped me deal with that situation on such an amazing level that I was able to get through it, like totally like, all right, I can do this. This is good. I wasn't crying every day. I wasn't losing my shit every day. Sorry, I put it out there. Sorry, bad word. But I wasn't doing that. And how does this stuff work? I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that it does. And it's amazing. I mean, to me, that's what's really amazing about it is that something so simple, right, can help us with our mind and help us with our bodies. I mean, to me, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's just a beautiful thing. That's all I'm going to say. So if you're interested in flower essences, now there's so many things that flower essence can help. I mean, I'm talking about it because it with mental health kind of issues of depression and anxiety, because they're dealing with those negative emotions. Most of the time we're going to be depressed or something because something that's happening in our life. Life sometimes can be shitty. I mean, it can be. And we got to get through those times. And if we can maybe do something as simple as this, as compared to taking a pharmaceutical medication, I think that's a great thing. Now, I know it's not for everyone. I know that sometimes people would rather, go to the doctor and get a prescription, and that is totally and completely fine. The wonderful thing about life, the wonderful thing about each of us, is that we all have the right to choose exactly what's right for us. Flower essence were great for me. Medication, for some reason, was not good for me. My body reacted in a very, very odd way, and I'm sorry. Thank you, Donna, for letting me know that sometimes I slip. Sometimes I slip with a little bad word, but I'm sorry about that. But we all have the right to choose. We all have, and that's what's great about our lives here. And I just wanted to open up everyone watching, because not everybody knows about flower essence. It's not like it's, what do you see on TV? You see commercials for medications all the time, and we don't really know about these little things like flower essence. And I wanted to, this is part of my thing, is one, I want to tell you about, all these different medical issues that we can have and educate you and try to tell you all of your kind of options. And then, but I also want to open up everyone's mind to other things as well. I've had acupuncture, I have massage, I have a couple of other things up my sleeve. Let's see, I'm got some other practitioners that I want to kind of come on. And then one thing that I did when I lived in England, I became a certified reflexologist. So one night I'm going to talk about what's going on with your feet. What can we do on our feet and even on our hands to help us? So I think the more information we know, the more empowered we are to take care of ourselves. And we as women are so important. Yes, I know guys are really important too, but women tend to not take care of themselves because we're too busy taking care of everybody else. So I want to make sure that we know as much as we can, and that's why I'm doing this. So I hope that you got a little bit to knowledge about flower essence. I know sometimes I can ramble. I know sometimes I can go off track. So I do apologize. I'm always hoping that as I do these shows, I get a little better and better each time. Sometimes I still think that I'm just all over the place because I have got so much stuff in this head of mine. And I want to get it all out to you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this evening. I'm Lori from Women's Health on the Go, and I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to start this way, and I'm going to tell you about our closed Facebook group. I started it. There's a couple of people on there. Not many people are asking questions, which, hey, that's okay. I mean, I'm hoping that, people will start asking me questions because that's what I'm there for, So, but if you would like to be on that Facebook group, just make sure that you go. I've got the facebook.com/groups/Women's Health on the Go Family, or just, look up Women's Health on the Go Family. I'll also put a link in with this show as well. So, come on, ask questions. Let's get the party started. I'm hoping that I'll even be able to either type responses or maybe even do video responses to people as well on that group. So, all right, let's see. Yes, Donna, I totally agree with you. Yeah, it might cause my left arm to fall off, or I love the side effect of it may cause death. Crazy, 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 crazy. It makes me crazy. The more I learn about, and pharmaceuticals are out there. They are beneficial for certain things, but the more I learn about them, the more I think we need to learn about all these other ways that we can naturally take care of ourselves. I don't know if anybody saw, I signed up for a documentary, a free review of a documentary about cancer and about natural cures and all this kind of stuff. So if you haven't, I'll put that link on the bottom as well. I think it starts tonight, actually, that they're going to start streaming it and stuff. So I'm actually pretty excited to kind of see what that entails. I have seen some documentaries when it comes to cancer and stuff like that, and treatments and cures and stuff. And so it really it fascinates me. I think it's just amazing, and I think we need to really, really need to, we need to educate ourselves. Camille, what flower is good for anxiety and thyroid problems? Camille, what I'm going to say to you is private message me, because, I don't know at what point you came on the show, but you really have to kind of break down what exactly is going on with your emotions and stuff like that to make sure we pick the right flower essence. So if you want to private message me, I'll kind of try to help you if I can. And I'm going to be putting a link to the Bach Flower Center and the Facebook group. And I got so many links that I'm giving tonight. So yeah, definitely, if you want to do that, Camille, I'm more than willing to help you with that. But I definitely think that there are ones that are good for anxiety and stuff like that. So absolutely. Okay. So, all right, everybody. Good night. Lori from Women's Health on the Go. Make sure you sign up for our Girl Talk closed group and start asking me questions. I'm going to put that link down there too. I will see you next week. I have no idea what we're going to do next week, but if you have any ideas or anything that you want to learn about, or any kind of women's health issue that you haven't seen in a prior show, please, please, please post it down below of this video, private message me, contact me on womenshealthonthego.com contact page. I don't care how you reach out to me, but make sure that you reach out and let me know, because I'm open to having a conversation about anything that's dealing with women's health, okay? All right, good night, everybody. Have a wonderful week. And it's also National Women's Health Week as well, so make sure you take care of yourself. Good night.